Welcome to a new series where we are going to learn about React context. Now, React context is a way by which we can avoid prop drilling, which generally happens when we have components 2 3 level deep in React. So to avoid this we can use context. There is another way of using a centralized control of Redux centralized state, but it is sometimes overkill for small projects. So in small projects we can use Redux context to avoid the prop drilling, where we pass one prop from one component to another, from a parent to a child to a grandchild. So let's get started and we will learn about it uh, on the way. So let me start a new React project by npx create React app. So let me name it translation because we are going to create a small translation app with the help of context API. So let me start it. So our app is finally created. So let's cd into that directory translation and let's do npm start. So it will start our React app at localhost 3000. So let me open it here in Firefox. Yeah, and it is open and we will get the boilerplate code. So let me also open it in the code editor. For that, yeah, so I am opening it in Visual Studio Code. Let me go to the src directory and let me select everything. And we will delete everything because we are going to create everything from scratch, not from scratch because they are general boilerplate only, they are not required. We can create things from scratch also, index.js, there is not much code there. So let import React. This index.js is the entry point to a React project. React React DOM from React DOM, import app from, we are going to have a components folder soon, so let me do it components and this app, then React DOM dot render the app we are rendering. Where we are rendering it in document dot query selector root. So what is this root? So what happens in React is this index.js, this will render the app in the root element. So the root is generally in this public, there in the index.html is there is one small div known as root. So what happens, the your whole React app comes in this root only. So let me close it, let me save it, close this also in the src, let me create a components folder. Inside that, let me create a app.js file, and I have my extension installed, so I can give that RCC and it will give me the skeleton class. Let me call app extends, but I don't like it like I don't like this thing, so let me come down, export default app, and just let me put some the app is okay to see if everything is okay. Yeah, everything is working fine. So now let's get started with our app.js, because let me also increase the font size. Yeah, so let's get started from here. First let us import a style file also, which we are soon going to make, app.css, and we are going to have a state variable. As with the new age class based function, we don't need the constructor. This earlier we used to have a this dot state, but now it is not required. English, the language will be English, a state variable language, and it will be initial value will be English. And inside the render, inside the div, class name equal to main container. We remove this, and div, another class name will be, so I am using another shortcut of VS Code. See, I will give div.lang.flags and I will hit tab. It will create like this. Then I will have a span in which I will write select language, I will have another span, another span, in it I will have an on-click handler, on-click equal to and function which will call this dot on lang change this function, and we'll have this English. Let me copy this and paste it here, and this will be Hindi. So let me do one thing, let me put some emoji here for the flag. Is there a flag emoji? Okay, I'll put the US flag here, and I will put the India flag here. So let us create this function now, and we are creating an arrow function which is getting a parameter lang, and this dot set state we will set the language equal to whatever we receive. It means this span, when we click on this span, it will, if you click on this US span, it will pass English. If you click on this India span, India flag, it will pass Hindi. And then let us show it. This dot state dot language. Let me quickly make an app.css also. In the same folder. So I'm not going to write the CSS because there is a lot between, and this is not a lot of CSS, and this is not a CSS course. So I will copy it, this CSS, this one right now. It is a simple CSS. If you want me to explain, it is like main container we are doing using display grid, then the place content, which is a short form of align content, and justify content, which will place the content in the center, a grid gap of 10, lang flags, we are making it a bit large. This thing I have done to point to this spans so that we will have a pointer, cursor equal to pointer. So let me close it and let me see whether we have everything is right. Yeah, everything is right. So select a language. By default it is English because we are passing English here by default. And if I click here, it will be Hindi. Click here, it will English. Click here. So you got it. So with this we will create three files actually. One will be in the components, one we will create, it is user create .js. The other one will be button.js. the other one will be field.js. So in the user create.js, let us create a functional component. Export default user create. So it will return a div of class name equal to UI __ form, and field and button. Yeah, button, our component button. So let us import those also. Import field from field, import button from button. So it is done. Now let quickly put code in button and field. So button will be a class based component, so actually both of them will be class based, and it will be BUTT on button. Let me cut it, export default BUTT on button, and let us keep a simple button for now. So let us keep this, and next we will go to field, export default field. Now this field component will have a label and an input box. Let this be there. Label, HTML for, it is giving, let me give HTML for name, yeah, name, and the label will be name, input type text, let me save it, and let us also complete the whole of the styles which are soon going to have. So let me copy this part of the style also, in which we are targeting this UI form, and soon we are going to have other classes. So I've saved it. Again we will have a UI form as grid and all those things. Some background is there, some focus is there, button color is bit nice, so something like that. So now now we will add this user create in app.js instead of this lang, because it was just to show you. User create, import user create from, it is in the same folder, so we can import it like this. And now we will have this okay form, not so beautiful but it's okay, and because okay, and now we will mainly start with the context system. So the context system, see, without a context system, if we want to pass something, we want to pass this lang, actually this English and Hindi. So without the context system we have to pass it to the user create, and then the user create will pass it to the button and the field. So this grandparent will pass to the parent, then to the child, but we don't want to pass it here. See, there can be something like in between this button and field there will be another 10 component, so we have to pass to each and every component, or the other option is to use Redux and go through all the boilerplate of Redux and have a central state. So instead of doing that, what we can do, whatever file, whatever component from which we are going to send the state, we will have a provider here, and whatever component we are going to receive, we'll have a consumer here. So there are two ways to do it. Let us first, but for that first we have to create a context file. So for that, let us create a context folder. Inside this you can give any name, but since it is a language context, we will give you language context dot js. Then import React from React, and then export default react dot create context. Now this create context is a React thing. Create context, and this English which we are passing, it is the initial value. Initial value should be English, so we are passing it like that. Now let me save it. Now we will come to the button. Here we will import it. Import language context from dot context language context, and then there is another boilerplate code that is known as static. We have to write a static context type. See, everything is coming because it's a keyword, equal to language context. So static context type is very important, you cannot misspell it. Static context type equal to language context, and then we are going to use it. So once when we give this, it means we have access to this variable. This English is there, so when we use it, we'll use it here. Const text equal to this dot context. So what is happening here, when we give this context type equal to language context, we have access to something known as this dot context, and when we have access to this means this language context, which is English currently, and which can be changed once we click the button to Hindi, we will have access to this. So text equal to this dot context, and if it is, so we are using just a ternary operator here. If we are evaluating this dot context triple equal to English, then we have to do a submit or the Hindi equivalent of it, which I have to get it from Google Translate because I cannot type it on the keyboard. From English to Hindi, submit prastut. I think it is not the correct, okay, whatever it is, let me do it. Okay, and in this button I will show the text. So let me copy it, save it, and see, we have this submit right now. This submit I will soon show you, but it will be shown means because we are getting it from this language context, which is English. Now let quickly update the field also. It will exactly similar to the button which we had done, like this. This static will be here also, too many empty spaces. Then this will be here also, but name, and the equivalent of name in Hindi I have to find out. It is naam. I know the what name in Hindi means, but I cannot type this on the keyboard. So this is naam, and instead of this label I want text. So it is getting from the text. Let me check. Yeah, and it is getting correctly, because we are right now getting it from here. So what we have to do, we have to move back to our app.js, and we have to implement this so that once you click it, it gets changed. So for that, whatever component is showing that, we have to wrap it with a provider. So let me first copy this, because we again need it here. But we will have one new thing, language context dot provider. This is the things which we are going to have. See, it is auto populating it, this provider. Now we have to wrap this user create with this lang context provider. Then after that, value will be it will get one value, and this will be this dot state dot language. So what will happen whenever we click on this language, it will change it to English or Hindi, whatever it is, and it will go here, and this dot set state will run, which will re-render everything. So this will come here and go to user create, and whatever other child components are there. So the child component of user create a button and field. So button and field will have access to that. So suppose I clicked on Hindi, so this will be equivalent to false. It is not equal to Hindi, so this press will come, or in the field it will not be true, and this will come. So let me save it, and now moment of truth. Yeah, it is working. So our project is complete, but there is one more thing which I want to show you, because in a lot of places, in a lot of code, you will find a old way to use the context API. So what I will do, I will change it in the button.js file, because this way I have also found in Gatsby.js. Gatsby uses the use context hooks a lot, but in the Gatsby version 1 we used to use the context API, and a lot of places in the codes I have seen that this way it is used. So let me do it. So the other way is to use the consumer thing. Just like we have this producer, we'll have a consumer instead of this static context type. So let me remove this, and then let me remove let me not remove this for now, but I will have a new function known as render text equal to text let me take it from here, put it here, not text. We don't have access to this context. this, let me tell it display text, and I am returning this display text. So what we will get access here is the language context dot consumer, and we'll have this inside button inside, but not like this. We will have access, we will have to wrap this button inside. There will be a props object, props, which we will get access to that props, and then after that let me bring it to the same line. Here we are calling this render text and passing the props. So this props will be nothing but the text, either it will be English or it will be Hindi, and this will go, and this will go here and return the display text, and it will show accordingly submit or press truth. So let me save it. Render text is not defined. Okay, this dot, think like this, const render text. Now whether it is working, yeah, it is working. And see, it is working fine. Our button is changing. So this is how we do it, this props. The other way, this way is that we will have access to this consumer, and then we have to wrap, we get access to this props, and then we can show it. So this is a bit ugly in comparison to this. This is quite okay, means we don't have to do those extra things. So this is the new way, and this is the traditional way. So this complete our apps. I hope you understand the context API. Thank you for watching.